and composing a new song, and had a really interesting thing happen this weekend. After I did the last post, I ended up going to Edmonton and meeting up with a bunch of family for, I guess it was kind of a surprise birthday party. And it was, I had a great time. You know, it's been crazy not being able to be with family for a couple of years because of the pandemic. And so this was the first time. And I gotta say, I actually had fun. I really had a fun time. Anyways, upon exiting the establishment where we had gathered for the party, somebody stopped, and it was in a pretty popular neighborhood called White Avenue. It's just down the street. The restaurant was just down the street from where I play on Saturdays with Gary Martin for the Blues Jam on Saturdays from 3 to 8. Uh, Anyways, we walk out and we're gonna hop in the car to go and leave to go home. And somebody stops me and Trish and says, "Oh, that cheese toast. I love that song." And he said he didn't say much other than that, just that he loved this song. And we hadn't played probably in 4 years was our last live performance. And I don't even think there's anything on YouTube about the song Cheese Toast. However, Trish said to me, there's a really good rule of thumb for songwriting is sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And that covers most of songwriting because it covers love, sex, of course, drugs. There's a lot of songs about drugs and stuff. But anyways, she had this theory, which is not holding up very well, because I think people are writing songs about various things now. And she thought the song was not in one of these categories. So I wrote the song, I composed it, I guess, when we were living in a log cabin in the middle of nowhere, of course. I think I might have explained some of those songwriting experiences in the past in previous episodes. Anyways, this guy mentions he's with his girlfriend and he mentions the Cheese Toast song. He loves it. Love that song. He said something else about it, but I was just taken aback when I heard him say Cheese Toast, because when we did play that song, a lot of people really liked it. And everybody in the band at the time said, you know what, we should record this song because it seems to get a really good response. So it's strange, and I don't think we really played a lot. However, we did do a lot of showcasing at different clubs, and that song was one of the favorites that we play. Plus, it got a great reaction. People would dance. People would remember the lyrics because it's kind of silly. It's a silly song, and it's about cheese toast. Basically, a piece of bread with cheese on it that you put in the oven, and there you go. Which is kind of bizarre. I just thought it was funny. I thought, yeah, I'm gonna write a song about this stuff that I really like called cheese toast. Anyways, to make a long story short, we discussed that afterwards and thought, well, maybe in today's world, it's just a matter of writing songs about fun things. Because I've noticed since I've been playing almost a year on every Saturday afternoon at this club that weathered the storm. Like, God bless everybody there who works at the Blues on White, because they put up with a lot from the government, especially. You've probably heard a lot about the government, what they've been doing here in Canada. Anyways, and they weathered the storm, as they say. But I saw so many different emotions and reactions during that period, and the I guess the plan, which we've been following, that Gary kind of implemented, he said, people are, they want to hear dance music here. And for years, forever, that as far back as I can remember out of high school, that bar pretty much has been a blues bar for at least 35 years. And by blues bar, excuse me, I mean stuff like Chicago blues, blues out of Los Angeles area or California, basically covers of old blues guys like T-Bone Walker, Guitar Slim, Muddy Waters, Howling Wolf, that sort of vein of blues. So that's you'd have and current writers of blues out of Chicago and other big cities, Philadelphia. I remember Sonny Rhodes, who just passed away, played there several times. He had a lot of his own songs. So it always had this reputation of being a blues bar. And today, things have changed. Music has changed. And like I said, I got out of show business about 30 years ago to do other things. And I just got back into it when Gary phoned me up and asked me to join the band. So what my point is today is that I think people want to hear a lot more dance music. They want to go out and have fun. And I think when it comes to a lot of Chicago blues, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of really good Chicago blues that makes you feel good, that is not about the woes of life. And so what we've been playing is basically a lot of Motown sort of stuff, which is to me not really blues, but it's fine because it's deeply rooted in blues. And Gary Martin is a funk brother, and he's the nephew of Hubert Sumlin, who was Howling Wolf's guitar player. So there's a lot of heritage there in what Gary does, and I'm really loyal to and respect, and I honor what Gary does, and so I'm highly supportive of and loyal to what's going on here, and so I don't look other places for any reason. And I'm having a heck of a good time every Saturday. Why would I? So, getting back to this person remarking about the song Cheese Toast, it's also a dancey tune. So, I'll just play you a little bit of it. When I wrote it, I believe, and this gets back into what we were talking about in the last episode, or two, up until the episode reviewing the SY200 synthesizer. There was some comments I made after that topic about how when you're listening to something, or if you hear something, it'll influence your songwriting. Just like Constant Craving by Katie Lang influencing Mick Jagger into writing Anyone Seen My Baby. That was a heavy-duty potential for a lawsuit. So they had to give Katie Lang and a co-writer songwriting credit. Anyways, so the dance, the songs that I had been composing, and especially the Cheese Toast song, were influenced when I think Trish had picked up James Brown collection, and she was listening to that. I wasn't really focused on listening to it. I love James Brown, rest in peace, and I loved all his grooves and the cool things about James Brown, and so this is what I came up with, which I called Cheese Toast. And basically it was the morning, and I was listening to James Brown in the background, and I started singing my own song about what I was doing. And it goes something like this. Well, there's something that I like just a little too much. It's a tasty, cheesy snack, and I can't get enough. You take a little slice of bread and some cheddar cheese. You toast it in the oven, it'll bring me to my knees. Well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, cheese toast, baby, is what it's all about. I say it, cheese toast. So that's basically the tune. It goes on with a couple other verses. Not very serious, it's just kind of humming a fun thing that just came to my imagination while I was doing what I was doing in the kitchen. Anyhow, so this is, like I said in the previous episodes, one of these things that just influences your mind without really realizing it or focusing on it. And I always thought that was, I always thought it kind of sucked when that happened, because it's like, oh no, I'm copying so-and-so. I don't want to plagiarize anything or do something like that. But like I said, the Problems tune was another situation like that, where I think probably Roger was listening back then to, we listened to a lot of Albert Collins and stuff. And sure enough, Robert Cray was new when that song was composed. And so, yeah, it's whatever you're listening to definitely affects your songwriting. So, one part I really can't figure out is why I write country flavored songs, because I don't listen to country music. In fact, I've been known to say I don't like country music, which is a bit of a lie, because it's such a common form of music in my neighborhood that you can't avoid not hearing it. Like, unless you want to live in a box in the woods and never hear anything except the trees whispering. So, that's still kind of a mystery for me. But anyhow, so we've kind of just decided that since it's been 4 years since we've even played that song publicly, that'd be kind of a good idea to put it on record. So I think we're going to go into the studio and record the song, because people might like it. It might be something that would, I just want to. I remember having some songs on the radio when I was playing 30 years ago, songs that I recorded and I was singing and playing guitar on, and they were being played on a radio station, part of something called the Alberta Music Project. And it was really cool, because I'd be driving along. I'll never forget the first time driving in my car, and you've probably heard a lot of other artists say this, when their song comes on the radio, it's like being hit by a big laser or something, because you just go, whoa, that's me on the radio, and I'm not playing it. I didn't turn it. the radio is on. I didn't tune it into my own song. And so that really was trippy. And so I'm thinking, well, maybe Cheese Toast might be another one of those songs. And that's what I'd really like to have happen again, is to be able to hear a composition of mine be played on the radio. Because that's just the best. Because, people are liking it, right? So, anyways, today what I was going to come in and talk about was a song I just came up with today, based on, it's basically based on brain damage, which is kind of a common thing that it's not very funny, although some people who don't have brain damage, think it's a joke or a funny thing if they've never had a head injury or a stroke or a heart attack which affected their brain. And from personal experience, I know, yeah, you have a heart attack, it's going to affect your brain depending on the severity of the heart attack. And I know a friend of mine also had a stroke, and it's also affected his memory. However, both of us are musicians, and I'm amazed that we can play. So, like I said before, when you get sometimes things happen in life that cause your body harm for whatever reason, whether you're not taking care of yourself, whatever the reason might be, it just happens, and sometimes you can keep doing what you're doing. So even John Watkins, he's playing guitar. He used to play with Willie Dixon. He explained to me that he had a heart attack, and he was no, he had a stroke, and he was out of music for a long time. But he got back to playing guitar, and he can play guitar as well as he played it before. So obviously brain damage, I don't know, maybe it has a tendency to affect things in your brain that aren't so connected to melodies and being able to play melodies. I don't know. It's kind of strange, hard to explain. So I was thinking of this thing. I think I actually saw somebody who was driving strangely. And over the years in Canada, people have been allowed to smoke pot and go out and drive their car without, considering the potential for, serious trouble. Anyways, so I was just driving, and I saw this guy go by, and he just made a real erratic move on the road. And I thought, oh, that guy's got brain damage. And maybe not. I don't know. But I just saw something that I said. Wasn't listening to any music. And it's not the first time that I've come up with something like this. In fact, Cheese Toast is a little bit like it. But I said to myself, brain damage. I got brain damage. I'll never be the same. I got brain damage. Can hardly remember my name. I got brain damage. What was the other line? Came up with two more lines. I can't remember them. Like I said, always write stuff down or record them when you're composing stuff. And I know when I was driving a vehicle when I was coming up with this stuff, so I could have stopped and grabbed the phone and started recording using the recording feature on the phone, but I didn't, and so I'll have to wait, and the second line would come to me. But it doesn't really matter, because it probably will come to me eventually what it was, because it was kind of amusing. I was hitting all these words that rhymed with one another, and I got brain damage. I'll never be the same, and then I barely remember my name, and I was thinking all the things. Oh yeah, I was hit on the head. Brain damage because I was hit on the head, and that's the line that I forgot, and I just remembered. Brain damage. I should probably be dead. Because when a person anywhere, as you probably know, you've heard of concussions. Concussions are a brain injury that can lead to brain damage, and that happens to a lot of people. So you have to protect your head in life. So, anyways, that's what I came up with for the basis of a composition. And whether it turns into anything or not, whether it turns into another cheese toast, I don't know. I just have the words. I didn't really have anything that came to me as far as a melody, but I was thinking of something pretty, something along that lines, like a straight A. It wasn't a shuffle or a second line kind of thing. It was like a straight ahead rocker. So, brain damage, never be the same. Brain damage, I never remember my name. maybe a change like that, brain damage, whatever. And so that's kind of what I came up with today. So if I've been thinking a lot about these compositions, I can come up with things like this and then keep coming up with more verses as we go, because it's actually an issue which I have dealt with myself, right? And so it's not hard to not even imagine, but it's more of a matter of recollecting what are the end results of brain damage. So you got trouble sleeping is one of them, mood swings, that's another one, not remembering where you are, that's one, being scared all the time, that's a big part of it. And so brain damage is not a really funny thing, and so at the same time I'm thinking, well, maybe this would be something to sing about or to compose a song about. So that's something that's in the works right now. Another thing that's in the works that came to me yesterday, but it came to me yesterday, which was Sunday, and I could figure out, and that was my birthday yesterday, I couldn't figure out what a show would be about. And so we were just sitting around playing bass and a guitar, and what were we singing about? We came up with something on a song about, oh yeah, gender equality. And we started, it's a duet that we're going to be doing together. I probably don't want to say a lot about this song, but it's about why me and a lot of other people don't feel like gender equality is a real thing. Like, I know it's a thing that's getting a lot of donations and money, and it's a little bit of a crazy kind of thing. So because it deals with nature, I understand people deserve to have equal rights. I would not ever question that. But as far as a man being able to do the same things as a woman does, exactly, or a woman being able to do exactly what a man does, I don't think so. Because from what I understand, for example, a man can take a pee standing up. A woman can feed a baby with her breasts, and a woman can give birth to a baby. Good luck to any guy out there in the world that thinks he can do that without some kind of incredible and probably really expensive medical transformation. So this is a song we're going to be working on in the future, but I'm going to leave it at that for today, and when we have this one ready, that'll be what the next show is about. But yeah, that's what I came up with today, and I wanted to talk about the cheese toast thing. So I might come on here and play the cheese toast song throughout, but I just kind of want to do a short show today, and then we'll pick up with it tomorrow. So, have a great day wherever you are, and thanks for joining me today.